Welcome everybody to the MCA Fusion Bolt PRs. I'm your host, Blue Fusion, and with me today are Jakar and Gray, if they want to introduce themselves.
Yo, 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 it's me, Jakar.
What is up?
Alright, so we have these 14 teams in front of us on this lovely sheet, and essentially we had, I think, 6 mods fill out the PR sheet, which were Buff Cat, Apocalypse, Blue Fusion, me, Tito, Jakar, and Gray. And essentially, we evaluated them on a ranking of 1 to 10, with 10 being the best and 1 being the worst, excuse me. And then we kind of sorted them based off of the averages. So the highest ranked average is first, and then the lowest ranked average is 14th. And then for tiebreakers, we used the team with the least amount of variance was placed ahead of the team with the most variance. And then for a double tiebreaker, we used the median score. But without further ado, let's get into the team that we have in 14th place, which is Ferrix, I think is how you pronounce that. I'm not entirely sure.
I think it's Ferrix. Yeah.
Ferrix, yeah. So this looks like a Sun team in front of us. I think the round 1 gouging fire. Those of you who know me know that I hate gouging fire with a passion.
You're a big hater for no goddamn reason, because
I just do not like it.
I think that's a good guy, but what I will say is I don't know how much I like it on Sun teams. I think there's a big issue in draft where people maybe draft things that are good in OU, like, oh, you think Gauchinho on Sun, that's that guy, he can break anything. But in draft, the reality of the situation is most of the time you don't really need the guy that does 1 quadrillion damage. It's the same issue I have with Chi Yu on Sun. Like, Chi Yu's already doing a lot of damage to 99% of teams. But I don't hate it. I don't hate it as much as you do. I think Gouge is a good guy, and I think you'll get a lot of value out of him on this team.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I feel like for a Sun team, there's maybe something else that can be picked round 1. Like, gouging fire, I don't think, the earliest I've seen it picked nowadays is like round 2 maybe. So I think we could have...
Yeah, it is normally like a 2 or 3 round 1, but
yeah, I think we could have picked a better first round, especially because I think we were like second overall on the draft order, or something crazy like that.
Yeah, something like a Tusk, or like a... I don't even know. I mean, I think Sun in general is not very good, sadly, but I think Gouge is an acceptable round 1 maybe for it, because you have Moon as well, although I do think they're kind of the same guy. It becomes a little bit tough to justify.
You're kind of lucky to get Moon that late, though, because I believe Ferrix was like second overall in the draft, so for it to go late round 2 is kind of lucky, I think. Yeah, he was.
16 points is pretty solid value for it too.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. I think what I will say, can I say this, is that Ninetales over Torkoal is the correct choice. I don't like Espadra though. I don't like that mon. I think that's kind of a bait mon, and you could just have like a Terra Venusaur and get way more value out of it on a Sun team.
I agree, but we can touch on that and a few teams. But I do think, I feel like we kind of went into this knowing we were planning a Sun team, and I think Espathra is super out of place on that team.
Yeah.
I do like the Terra Sandy Shocks on this. I think we could probably move Terra. Well, we could probably take off Espathra entirely and move the Terra to um
Lilligant? No, I like
yeah,
Terra Lilligant here. Terra Lilligant's pretty good.
really
I think
good.
the Terra Chlorophyll guy, always good,
Hmm.
always good. What I will
Um,
say, I think, unironically, I might like Slaking on this draft. I might actually like the King.
I
If
think it's fine here. One thing I will say I do kind of like is that this team is super weak to grounds, and I hate the mod, but I think Earthworm on this kind of makes a lot of sense because
oh
you can
damn,
come in on those earthquakes, which this team is super weak to, and then set stealth rocks or spikes or something like that, which I think is kind of neat.
you can. That is a thing that you can do, but Earthworm is like really bad,
It is.
and
It's the only steel type.
it's the only steel type.
I suppose so. Uh,
You
I
cut
do
out a
think
little bit there, Gray. Is what my comment was about.
I do think this team would benefit from something off the ground
Yeah, massively.
a lot.
Spikes is really bad for this team. I
Yeah.
think
So
I think I think what I would say, my overall opinion is that it's a little bit confused, maybe, and that we could solve some things. And the reason why I said I liked slacking is because it kind of gets into the mindset of a Sun team where you want to keep the pace up, keep the pressure on, and slacking, okay, yeah, Truant kind of fucks it. But you kill yourself by just clicking buttons with a Pokemon like Sandy Sharks, and then slacking comes in on the thing that Sandy Shocks dies to and immediately kills it.
that is true.
That's a thing that
Um,
can happen. It'll happen in like one matchup maybe, but it's like a 1 or 2 point Pokemon, so it's fine.
yeah, I think having Sun with a Terra Sandy Shocks, you can run that a booster speed from the Sun and then slap a Life Orb on it to get your 3 stabs
It's pretty
uh,
good.
functioning. Um,
Hmm.
I- but I think overall, I think you move the Terra from Espathra, you take Espathra off the team, and you replace it with something off the ground.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that.
Shall we move on?
Let's move on. Unless you
Alright.
want to say anything, Gray.
The only thing I really have to say is, you know, this team, I think when you look at it on first glance, like it looks very standard for what you're kind of looking for in a Sun team. But the two biggest problems I have is I think as we get further down the timeline with draft in this gen, like it's proving that weather teams like sand, sun, even
Yeah.
rain, like they're pretty challenging to really perform well with. I think people are pretty familiar with the formula of playing against some of these weather teams. And the other thing that I noticed when looking at this team is I think that you have two really strong dragon types that benefit from that sun, but your fairy is Sylveon and your steel is Earthworm. And it's not that Sylveon is necessarily bad, but I think this team's gonna struggle using that core as like a fairy steel dragon, and also the lack of really good fighting resist. Like Sylveon has a pretty weak defense stat, so I'd be really worried about facing up into fast fighting type for this team.
Something with a good
Uh,
CC is kind of tough potentially, but
I mean,
do you have the Deoxys defense?
Sylveon can be pretty bulky if you invest right, and then there is Teoxys defense, which is just known
I think
for
I think the
taking hits.
the big issue, right, is that it's like the pace. It's a pacing mismatch. Like Sylveon
I'd agree with
Deoxys
that.
defense is just kind of, it doesn't really.
Yeah, I like Deoxys defense actually, like a lot more than I think a lot of people do. But the problem is if you're gonna have to rely on that a lot as like a pivot or hazards, or a check to like some crazy offensive threat, it's gonna be pretty challenging to perform consistently with that thing.
Yeah.
I agree
Yeah,
with that.
I agree.
Let's move on to another weather team.
It is.
So right off the bat,
What you'll know about
this
Sanchi
this team pisses me off because
Oh,
this
God.
is clearly a sand team, and we don't have Terra on Excadrill.
Yeah. So
Uh,
I increased the price of Terra Drill this season and decreased the price of T-Tar, but so that the sand pairing stayed the same price because I still think the sand pairing is good. But yeah, I think if you're gonna run sand, I don't know why you would not use Terra Drill, because Terra Drill might be that guy. He might be that guy.
like, there's no reason for the Kilowattrel to be Terra here, especially if we recognize that this is a sand team.
Yeah. And there's a
Uh,
lot of things I like about this team, like
yeah,
especially if the drill becomes Terra, all of a sudden we've got Terra Drill with 2 really good Healing Wish users. And
Yes.
we've got the ability to pivot T-Tar in pretty well. I think that was my big issue though, actually, was the pivots were maybe slightly lacking. You've got Aloe, and then that's about it. I don't really know
Yeah.
why Basculegion is here. I don't like that Pokemon very much, particularly though when you're already using Lomomola. I don't know what function it's serving here massively.
I agree. It is very much a point sink, and I think, yeah, the only 2 mons that can pivot on this team are Aloe and Kilo, and Basculegion, but that mon's fake on this team.
Yeah, I don't know what when you're running Basculegion over Lomomola. So you can get rid of Basculegion. You've already saved yourself some points. Put Terra on Drill instead of... I don't really like Terra GU, but I don't know, maybe you do.
I just don't think it's needed on this team.
No.
But I will say, let me check what I ranked this team personally.
Yeah. And I'll just say,
was...
whilst you're doing that, that I think Sand GU sounds kind of cool because the chip from the sand could be really annoying for anything that dares to attempt to check GU, right?
I definitely agree with that. So I ranked this team a 4, and I think if you move the Terra onto Drill, it moves up to like a 6 or an 8, something like that.
Yeah, immediately, I think. What do you think, bro?
This was one of the hardest teams for me to really decide what I wanted to score it, honestly. Because, you see the pieces there, and you definitely see how this can be very good. I think even if, like, you weren't running Sand every week to set up with Excadrill and try and win that way, that T-Tar is, like, a very strong defensive piece to have. If you have something like Healing Wish Lottie, that can keep that guy healthy, like, that's going to keep you in some games probably if you want to take it that route. My problem really is I feel like outside of Sand, the speed is a bit worrying. I know you have a Kilowattrel there, but I am not sure if I believe in that guy as a real, like, top-end speed threat. Hurricane's very strong, but
it's kind of tough. But if you're running Sand as well, though, you can't really run Hurricane.
Exactly, right. So
yeah.
it's kind of anti-synergy, and I just worry that there are teams that have some really strong options with the guy that's just a little faster than 110 speed, and they're just gonna clean up,
That is a very good point. There's nothing really strong offensively past that pace 100 speed tier, really.
Yeah,
and I like
it can get
as
tough, but...
a support mon, but it's really not. You do not want to be capping that guy's speed because you're just taking it away from other stats that you probably need if you're running Ladia. I mean, you want it to be kind of bulky. You want it to have like a degree of utility for you, or even to set up. Like, you know, you gotta be thinking about your defensive stats a lot with that mon.
Yeah, yeah.
One thing I do really like on this team is Chestnut.
Bro, I was about to say about Chestnut. I love Chestnut
Yeah,
on this team.
yeah.
Chestnut's so shiced on this team.
Mhm.
The ground resist, get those spikes up for drill. Oish, it's looking good.
Yeah, Chestnut's a great mon.
The
I
only
hope
thing-
that I can draft it.
The only thing I will say is that there is a bit of synergy issues with Chestnut, is because I think Synthesis has reduced healing in Sand, but that's kind of a
It
niche
does, but
complaint.
but less so than the
Mhm.
the anti synergy of Kilo, because I think
Mhm.
that Synth is nice on Chestnut, but to be honest, in like a draft setting, especially, we want Leech Seed, we want Knockoff, maybe a Body Press or a Drain Punch, and we want Spikes. So I think Synth is
agree.
actually kind of hard to fit, and the chip from Sand plus Leech Seed is gonna be super annoying.
True.
Really will.
But yeah, my final thoughts on this team are, I think the structure is totally there. I just think Bastion Legion has to go. Terra off Kilo, and then put Terra on Drill.
Yeah, I think so. It would be a strong contender if you did just a few couple of changes. Yeah, for sure. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
So Fusion Bolt had 2 Sun teams this season, and
Should we just say as well? I've just realised, not to cut you off. Apologies, Big Dog. We haven't said the name. We didn't say the name of the last team. That was Magical Potatoes team.
I
This
suppose
team.
we did
This is
not.
Orange's team.
Orange.
Sorry. Carry on.
So I knew Orange was drafting Sun going into this, and I told him to get Ninetales. He did not, as it turns
No,
out.
totally
But
did not. I thought you were going
I
to say
did
you told
tell
him to
him.
get Gren, and I was like, excuse
no,
me.
no. I did tell him to get Terra Venusaur though, so I'm very happy to see that on this team.
Yeah, I think Terra Venusaur is super scary with Sun. It is really scary.
But this,
It might be the best Sun Pokemon in general.
I think
f-
probably, yeah.
for lower tiers, probably. Yeah, probably overall.
Like in terms of value,
I mean, Terra
particularly,
Walking
obviously
Wave is
you have
also very strong.
like Terra Wake is really good, and it wall breaks really well.
Mm.
But if you don't need that super strong offensive power, you can go Venusaur with a Life Orb, and it'll just kill everything.
So one thing I liked about this team that I don't think I really saw on Ferrix's team is that there's a clear hyper offense identity on this team. The only downside to that is if you lose momentum, you probably lose, because this team has no defensive profile.
Yeah, this team
whatsoever.
is really ass defensively. Like, really super ass defensively. I don't think that Ogerpon Hearthflame belongs on this team, and everybody knows I love Hearthflame, that's my dog right there, but I don't think that it works on this team. Because as much as it's nice having that fire type breaking power, you already have Wake. Also, I feel like we're skipping over the elephant in the room. Maybe we bring it back a second from talking about Hearthflame and talk about the non-Terra Gren on Sun.
Yeah. Well, that and then
Yeah.
the non-Terra Sinistra as well. I think
Yeah.
those two stick out to me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, those are pretty tough. Particularly on Sun teams. Sinistra not being Terra is kind of crazy to me because you lose an ability,
Yeah.
essentially.
One thing I do kind of disagree with you on is I think I kind of like Hearthflame on this team, provided you have that game plan for each for each of the 8 weeks where you're just running super hyper offense. I think Ogrepon
Yeah.
can fit that role pretty well on this team.
It,
But
Where's the hazard removal
it
to
probably
help time
can.
out?
Yeah, well, this is the thing.
Torkoal.
And Torkoal, your hazard removal is Torkoal, which you can't do. You need hazard removal. I guess you have Smeagol. You need hazard removal, and you need a steel, and you need a fairy, and you need probably a flying resist. I think I rated this team a lot lower than a lot of other people, because I think that obviously it's hyper offense, so and like type chart cells are seething and coping all over the world because they see the red on the type chart and they're like, oh god, no, but that's not always bad. But in this particular case, I think it's super bad. You literally do not have a Draco switch in whatsoever.
No flying resist.
You don't have a flying resist, so Terratorn T is like a 10-0 matchup versus you. You don't have a rock resist or any removal, and your main guy is that you're bringing pretty much every week in Torkoal is rock weak, and you can't really run boots on it. You don't have a poison resist at all, which feels kind of weird. I don't think I've ever seen that on a team before. Do we not have a ground? We have no ground. The world's first Regieleki 6-0 inbound.
There are 4 grass types on this though, so
Yeah,
maybe not.
maybe not. That's true, but you know. Yeah. I don't know. There's.
I think we should all stop drafting weather guys. I'm gonna be honest. And I apologize.
I agree.
If there's
I
only
think we
two,
should.
if there's only 2 weathers, I think I allow in their stand, because Terra Drill can just kind of win on its own in sand, and then rain.
Yeah, rain is usable. I think sun, quote unquote, sun
And most
is
people-
fine, but I think sun is pretty much exclusive to the same kind of thing that you have with sand, where you just have T-Tar drill and then you just build a team that can take advantage of sand chip and stuff. You do that with sun, where you just have
fair.
Ninetales and Venusaur, and then you have something that can take advantage of Healing Wish.
I think I agree with that. It's just that's not how people seem to draft with sun in mind.
Yeah,
Um,
Yep.
I think so. But it could be good.
What-
It could be good because we do have Terra Venusaur. We do have Greninja available to Terra. I think we get rid of the Wake. We make it less sun-worthy. We get some resistances to something on the type chart.
I think Ren is a hard sell on this team. Something has to change to make that work better.
Yeah. Well, even
Probably.
Terra Gran, I think is fine. Imagine Terrafire Gran in the sun with a Battle Bond boost. You're dead. You're cooked, buddy. Nobody's ever seen that tech
True.
before. How do you prepare for that?
I think it gets weather ball too, so
Tough.
It does.
I'm sold.
I'm pretty sure it does.
I can believe
That's
it. I don't know if
crazy.
it does.
True.
I don't know if it does, but I believe it
I
wholeheartedly.
need a fact check from that, guys. I'll hear back from you later.
But yeah, my kind of final thoughts on this team are I think if you can play this, how this team is meant to be played, of just non-stop hyper offense, I think you'll be successful with it.
You can
I
definitely
think the moment you lose momentum, you lose the game.
win. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think you're probably right.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right.
To how?
I am unsure how to pronounce that, so.
You're American, bro. You're telling me
Let's
you don't
see.
know a little Portuguese, no Spanish, no nothing?
I'm
A
from
Yao?
Northern America. Okay,
how?
let's calm down. But anyways, so I think this team is pretty solid. Chikar, do you wanna take it away?
Yeah, I think no, I kind of agree with you. I think the team is pretty solid. Weirdly, even though Tealpon is not as cheap as it should be, and I've been telling anyone who will listen that's your fault, only your fault. I couldn't have done anything to stop it.
I moved it down
By 1 point.
You told me to move it down by 1 point.
No. Okay, we're not getting into it. Doesn't matter. This is lies. I will find the screenshot later. But for now, devil's advocate. Let's say I did whatever. I think that Teal Pond is too expensive, but it kind of works with this top 3 core. It's kind of cool, and you have.
That's what's
You have Corv as a nice pivot. I mean, you're 1 billion pivots on this team, except when you get past Thunderous. I don't understand Gastrodon.
I was gonna say, I really think the top like 6 on this team is pretty solid, but I just don't think we rounded this team out well at all.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. Lorges is fine, but the thing.
Hello, Aiden.
Oh, it's Big A.
Oh, I got called out. Hello.
Yeah. Sorry, we're on how, by the way, if you open up the doc.
Okay, 1 sec. We're on
Apocalypse 17 in the chat. What I would say is that Lorges is a fine Pokemon, but it's a fine Pokemon pretty much only because it has Trick. I think Trick
is a fine
the thing.
Pokemon in Gen 7.
That's tough.
I'm not sure about now.
Tell them how you really feel. But basically, my thinking is we don't need Gastrodon. We can just get like a regular water type.
We kind of need hazards though.
We do need hazards, but also we have Corviknight. The thing about Corviknight I don't like though is that it's sort of like a screen spot, in my opinion.
You're forced to run defog on it on this team too, unless you want to bring Skunting.
The one thing I don't like about this team in particular in their whole hazard situation is like Ogerpon Teal Mask, because it's your Terra Captain, you don't always want to like be running the spike set with it, right? Whenever you Terra it, you a lot of the time want to be some sort of like offensive set and utilize your speed boost and extra Terra boost with your power, and so that's not really real hazards. You can run it if you want to in some matchups if you really need the spikes, but another thing is like I don't see a lot of offense on this team. Like yes, there's Dragapult, but it's anyone who's used it, including I last season. I didn't feel very confident in its offensive abilities. It felt like it kind of lacked the punch it needed a lot of the times. It either needed specs or setup. And then Cinderace is good utility, and it can run Bandit in a lot of matchups, and a lot of the time it looks good because people forget to draft fire resists. But it's one of like 2 options. There is Ursaluna, which is
so
here.
this is my thing, right? But is that I hear you out with the Pult comments. You're a generational Pult hater though, so we take that with a pinch of salt. Pult's a great enabler. I think it really helps Ursaluna. Are we like? Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you take Thunderous Incarnate out, put Thunderous Therian in, if that's available. That could be a cool idea. It's not? Well,
no.
Voids has it right now.
Sucks to be me.
Word on the streets is it might be getting dropped soon.
If it does, I would like to pick that up.
Yeah, I think that's probably the better Thunderous for this team, because as you say, we want to get the numbers up. We want to get the damage up, because I really like Pult, but like you say, we need something in there that can break really well. And that's why I like Ursaluna on this team, and that's why I like the top 3, because the pivoting potential is really nice, and you can run a lot of disruption, but it's only good, I think, personally, with a couple of guys that can break really hard. Is Volcanion free? What do we think about Volcanion as a special breaker on this team?
I am not opposed to seeing a Volcanion on this.
I think if you dropped maybe like a Gastrodon and a Thundy, Volcanion would look a lot better on this team.
I agree.
Yeah.
And then you get some hazards.
Yeah,
You
you definitely need hazards on
maybe
this.
get rid
with,
of Chime
capture
Co.
Yeah.
and then we play ball. I
Mhm.
think it could be a good team. I like ball. I like the top 3.
I think I agree
Cinderace,
with
SD
that.
Cinderace with double edge is really good because
True.
actually people's normal resists are super shit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to Pochop?
I'm good to go.
Alright.
Let's do it.
So this is Pochop's team. Terratorn is always a very good thing.
I like certainly the top 5 on this team I like quite a lot. Even the top 7 on this team I'm reasonably fond of. I understand why Arbeliever is here, but I think Arbeliever is a bit of a type chart sell Pokemon.
I'd agree
Yeah,
with that.
I do think the top 5, again, like maybe 6 are really good. I like Terra Iron Thorns. I like the idea of it. I haven't seen it do anything yet. With the right hand.
Who did it 6-0? There's somebody in FBL season 12 or 11 got 6-0'd by Iron Thorns, but I can't remember who it was.
Was it Kuma?
It might have been Kuma. I think Kuma got 6-0'd by Iron
Kuma.
Thorns.
That's funny.
Because I know that was against Tyrant, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But I think that Iron Thorns could potentially be something a little bit better, more worth the points that could utilize a Terra slot. Like something that helps maybe fill out your type chart, or something that defensively may not have like the best typing, but with Terra, it can make it check a lot of things that it doesn't normally. But
Potentially, I think that my thing is that it's currently justifying the Alolan Ninetales, because the Eightails to me is slightly weird unless you're running like. I mean, obviously you have Quackable there to take advantage of screens.
22. Don't
20,
disregard Terra
yeah.
20.
I mean, no, look. I love Terra 20,
No.
the thing about Terra,
Jakar, come on. Terra flying specs, Terra blast behind screens, like.
What?
No,
But hear me out. The
Terra
point
Lore,
is, no.
nasty
Okay, shush. For a second. The point is, Terra T is good, really good, in part because of Regenerator, because you can throw it out to get big damage off, and then heal it off anyway. So the fact is, the screens, I guess, enable that somewhat, but it's already the longevity is already a selling point for the Taunty.
You do realize the best Terratorn set is Nasty Life Orb, right?
I know.
It
That's
is-
what I just said. Did I not
It
say
is
that?
Head Up Torn, which screens help out.
I don't think
It
it's
does allow you to
bad,
get,
but I don't
like,
think it justifies spending the money on A-Tails, is what I'm saying.
That is one of the
That I'll
things
agree with.
Yeah, that is one of the things I first saw with this team, was like, why is A-Tails here? Like,
I feel like
without
it's-
at least the one Snowmon, I just didn't know why it was here.
I feel like it's type chart copium, honestly.
It very well could be with the fairy type, but I feel like
Mhm.
there are better like value fairy types. Like, listen, you call me crazy, but if Alchemy's still out there,
value fairy.
well, I mean, I'm just saying to replace it. If you need a fairy type, go out there and get something like
Don't
like
get
Alchemy. Maybe even
Alchemy without
Alchemy.
Terra.
Maybe even
Only
Terra
get
Alchemy,
Alchemy
and
if you're
then-
getting it with Terra.
Listen, if they don't know what that thing does, you will sweep them. It will happen.
Everybody in Fusion Bolt, watch this video. You can't Encore or Taunt Alchemy. There we go.
Okay.
I destroyed your hopes and dreams.
One thing I think to touch on is screens and Terra Iron Thorns.
Well,
Could
this is
be
what
an angle for sure.
this is what I'm saying, right?
Serious problem for people, yeah.
This is what I'm trying to say, is that I think that Thorns is currently the thing that justifies A-Tails. Weirdly. And
Yes.
I
However,
think-
that should not happen.
yeah, this is the point, right? It's too much to spend on essentially Terrathorns, including the team slots. It's tough. I like Dragalgi on this team. I think you get another pivot in place instead of something else. Like, I don't... Diplin has zero purpose on this team if you have Arbalever.
I will say-
Oricorio is generally not good. I guess it's a screens abuser.
I do know that Aiden has thoughts on Diplin.
We don't gotta talk about that.
What are your thoughts on Diplin? Come on, big dog.
It's
Don't
great.
get shy now.
It's a great Terramon. It can wall a lot of teams if they don't prepare for it. This
I
is
think
regular
you might
Diplin.
not have prepared for him at some point. But yeah, regular
Who
Diplin,
could stay?
bad, and particularly on a team with Arbalever. Sizzle, I guess, is fun in this team. It just feels a little bit odd, but I
think
I
Sizzle is
okay.
fine here as like a steal. It allows Heatran to be like more of just a fire in a way.
Yeah.
It kind of frees it up to be more offensive.
It does,
It's another pivot, which I like. It's really the ones that are like holding this team back, I think, and could use points elsewhere properly. Drop the Diplin, drop the Oricorio, drop the Arbalever, and then the two that I'm fringe on are the A-Tails and the Iron Thorns. I feel like you could potentially restructure those to get some better like pivots, maybe better Terra Abuser, but I feel like
I think a
Arbalever,
better
Oricorio,
pivot
and
would be
Diplin.
cool, and I think another ground immunity / resist would be cool.
I think that's why the Oricorio was picked up. I'm not even gonna lie.
I think it is
that's
why the last two are there, and I think that's why
think
Arbalever is
I
here,
like
but that
this
doesn't work.
team a little more than everyone else. I gotta say that the first four, funny enough, is actually incredibly similar to something I have in another league right now. If you replace Tornadus with Shaman, and like there's a lot of synergy between those four Pokemon. So I think that provides you with a really solid foundation to be in a lot of these games and win a lot of these games. I also think Arbalever is probably being slightly undervalued on this team. I understand that a lot of people think it's kind of a type chart mon, but I think it's a really interesting grass type to pair with Heatran, because you are folding to a lot of ground type moves, and having EQ damage is never a bad thing if you have a Heatran. It also just helps like the longevity of some of these mons like Quackaball. If you want to try and get that guy set up, you like the terrain. Iron Thorns, you like the terrain. Also, you're having earthquake damage into that if you can't Terra for some reason or don't want to. And the Sizer doubling up the steel types, so they're both freeing each other up to be more flexible matchup to matchup. So I don't want to be.
I think
feel like
that's cool.
I actually like this team a lot. I do think Diplin's very useless, but I see why they probably want one more ground resist.
Yeah, I think that's my big issue, is that I have used a structure which is kind of similar, where I had a bad ground matchup and I chucked Arbalever on there, and I brought Arbalever to one game and it was not for a ground type. So yeah, I struggle with it, but I think the top four is really amazingly good, and I do see what you mean. Why the Arbalever is here, it certainly helps, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's terrible by any means, but I think it just could be better, and I would love to see the team be better, because it could be a really fun team to use.
I do think there's one thing we're also forgetting to mention about Arbalever. Spectre is on the board, and Arbalever is a normal type. So
Wow, yeah, this is true.
that's it. It's another thing for the type chart.
So my final thoughts on this team are: I think it's a team with an identity crisis, and I think
Interesting.
the only tool I think we used when drafting this team is the type chart.
Maybe. What I will say is that I think that I don't know. I don't think that it has that much of an identity crisis, to be honest. I think I understand what they're going for. I think the only reason that is the case is because of the 8-tails. You just get another pivot instead, and I think you're saying prey.
So I think it's the 9-tails and the last 4, I think. To me, at least, feel a bit out of place.
The last 2 definitely, but yeah. No, I see what you're saying.
Shall we move on?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So this is Bennett's team, and I think the trend of the back half of teams being very weird continues with this team.
Somewhat. I really like Gyarados on this team. I don't often like Gyarados with Spectre, and I will say as well that Terra King Gambit was way too fucking expensive this season, and that's on me. Whoops. But I like Gyarados actually in this because it has the potential to really easily get Defiant Boost off of a Defog. You completely shut down Defog. If there's any team that only has Defog as its removal, you can't really bring removal into this team.
I think the top 5 on this team are very solid.
Yeah.
After that, I think it phases off very quickly.
I do like Shaman, and I'm honestly fine with Vaporeon. Dude's just a bulky water in the most traditional sense of the term. It's got flip turn this gen as well, so it is not a complete momentum sink or anything. I
think a lot of this team, like I like the top 5. I don't know if Terra and Screamtail was necessarily worth the points, because I feel like a lot of the times you're gonna want to Terra the King Gambit. Like that's the whole reason you spend 23 points. If you're not using that thing almost every game, it's like I feel like almost a waste of a mon, because the King Gambit has fallen off a ton since the beginning of Paldex.
It has. What I will add to that though is that Screamtail is only an additional 2 points to Terra. I think it adds, I'm pretty sure, I think it adds a lot of value in a fast Terra threat, especially alongside King Gambit, which maybe your answers to Terra King Gambit is like, oh, I'm going to bring like maybe it's a base 100 mon with like Encore, maybe it's a Jirachi even, or like
I can't help but to mention,
substitute.
You said a Terra threat when mentioning Screamtail.
It's a setup guy, don't get me wrong. But
have you looked at the attacking stats?
Have you looked at the stored power sets, brother?
Yes,
dog.
I've seen Mug do it over and over again, beating up randos.
And it works. It works. It works.
How come you're hating?
It does get boom burst.
It's just not that great. I feel like
I agree. I don't think it's amazing, but I think alongside King Gambit, where people are going to be prepping like a lot for King Gambit and Spectre, you have this little demon bastard, Screamtail in the back. It's got Encore, CM. What does it get? Gleam, stored power.
Still ignoring the biggest problem with this team.
Fortress, I agree.
Fact that there is a Fortress on this team.
Yeah.
It being your only steal is really bad.
This is a lie because you have King Gambit.
All right. All right, bro. Listen.
And
that thing
I think I understand, as much as I dislike Monkey Dory, I think I understand why it's here, because you look at this team and you think, oh shit, I don't have a way of switching into a Moonblast, because Fortress does not count. So you get Monkey Dory is especially bulky.
As a value pick, I actually quite like Monkey Dory. I haven't ever picked it myself, but its stats aren't terrible. Its move pool is pretty shallow, which I think
until you use it.
No, I listen, I haven't used it, so I guarantee you, I can't really speak on this that much, but 130 special attack with 106 speed, with the Toxic Chain ability is really good. It has a somewhat decent defensive profile for what it wants to switch into. Its defensive profile is not that bad.
Yeah.
And I feel like its value for how low it is it can't be bad.
Well, I
Uh,
think you're one thing I think you're forgetting about is that it does have a solid offensive stat. It just happens to have like the two worst offensive stats in the game.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah,
Seconded up maybe
yeah.
only by Cleavor. This shit is pretty
Probably.
bad.
Oh, poor Cleavor.
Captain Strays. I think that my issue, right, is that if you're trying to break somewhat for Spectre,
Yeah.
it's pretty hard to do that with Monkey Dory. But
Well,
it's
you
not too
just,
bad.
That is why you have a Gyarados, and
You just
Yeah.
have to get super lucky with Shaman seed flare drops.
Oh, you know what? So
Tough.
right, yeah. I mean, let me
Tough.
lead, spec shaman, click. Man, easy. I'm breaking everything, bro.
True.
I like this
Oh,
team like a surprising amount. I think Terra Screamtail does have value here. I think that Spidops and Fortress kind of don't have that much value here with Tinglu. I understand why you have Fortress. I don't think it's a great spinner. It's a better spike setter, and you already have the best spike setter guy. Although sometimes Tinglu, maybe you run a band, maybe you run a weakness policy, maybe you run a rest talk thing. I don't know, but I don't know. Yeah.
Real ones know. Rest talk, spike stealth rock.
What do you do? What do you do?
I think that this will all come down to how they use Tinglu. I mean, I actually, I think in this division, this team is going to be very solid just because if you can utilize Tinglu and that bull, and you can get those hazards off. I mean, it also does damage, so you can even get chip. Like, you can do some phasing. This team has really, really good cleaners, good endgame mons.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
if you can, find a combination, like those last 6 mons, I'd say I don't think I love all of them, but matchup to matchup, if you can find ways to make them useful for
Mhm.
1 or 2 sequences and get your Tinglu deployed and get your hazards up, I mean, you have a great offensive spin blocker with Spectre. That's going to make it hard for them to get rid of hazards. And you have Defiant for the defog guys. So I see the formula, and I think it can be incredibly strong. It's really comes down to how you're going to be able to pilot this.
I think the one thing the last thing I'd say about this team is if you can, in Grace, try to find
Grace is done, big
like
dog.
another somewhat. Oh well, listen.
That's why we're doing this.
in free agency, if you can, find one more breaker. One
Yeah.
more breaker for Spectre. I know you have the hazards, right? But brute spam, very real. If you can find one more solid breaker outside of Gyarados, I think this team is takes that one higher step up.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that.
I think the top 5 on this team were pretty solid. I just think the latter 5 are a bit they're functional,
They could
but
be
they're
better.
just kind of whatever.
Yeah. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Yep.
To Khan's team.
Corn's team looks pretty good. Apart from the
It
back
is-
3.
Certified fusion bolt moment at this point.
Oh, brother. We talking about the speed tiers? Anyone want to talk about the speed tiers? What you know?
Yeah,
the
I
speed
do
tiers are a
not love this.
mess.
So, Rogialenki's pretty fast.
That it is.
Speed,
Do you know how many people speed prep for Lucky?
None?
Only if you're going to
None.
+2 with something.
Yeah. Sneasel is usable probably in a matchup or two.
I have seen it
Yeah.
come to a singular.
Yeah,
A game
I've seen it
itself,
been used in a game and it do work.
But this
I don't-
team really needs some real speed.
Yeah, Palafin also fake speed. You don't want to be running Jolly Palafin pretty much ever.
One of the things I will say about how this team is structured is that looking at the pieces, this is not a fast beat you down with offense team. This is a
It's not.
sit here, grind out the game
Oh my god.
with Hydrapple, Glow King, until and Skeleturge until everything is worn down. You send in your Palafin, you click Jet Punch 4, 5, 6 times, and you win the game. I
agree.
see what the plan is, but that also is only really works in theory when you have things that make their offense have to put EVs into speed. When they don't care about your speed, they put everything into attack. Well, depending on how EVs look and calcs look and all that, and then they throw the rest into whatever HP or defense stat they want, and then you're not hitting nearly as hard as what you think you are.
Agreed.
So, I think there is some restructuring that needs done.
My big issue, sorry to cut you off slightly,
You're good.
Cleavor has to go full stop. It's a bad Pokemon anyway, but you also don't need the rocks. You have Tinkaton as a great rock setter. You have Skarmory as a great spiker. You get something that fills the speed tiers way better than Cleavor. Ideally better than Sneasel. Blood Moon's kind of good. It probably can keep it on this team as a special breaker. But I don't.
Jakar, you're forgetting the best part about Cleavor. It gets defog.
It does
it's
get
removal.
defog. Yeah, it's removal. I clicked Stone Axe and then I clicked defog. Regieleki on this team, just a spin bot, so it's like maybe there's a better spinner available. I don't know, but the big thing, I guess it's nice for the that you have the top 2 for the grounds. The big thing for me is the bottom 3 definitely need to change. I don't think Dirge offers anything for this team. If
I'd
you
agree
can
with that.
get maybe a dark type, maybe another stealth rock setter potentially, or like another form of removal potentially. But
Fast
the
offense.
speed tiers is definitely the big thing here, right?
Oh,
I think.
let me see what's available.
Is Infernape? No, it's not. I remember it's not because I was talking to Harmony about it. It's not.
Urshifu's available.
That
That's
can
not
somehow
fast
fit that.
offense. That's not.
On this team, it is.
it's a scarf bot, which I think this team needs.
It is a
forces
scarf bot, but
something.
But the thing is then you just run a scarf that is a base 100 guy, and all of a sudden you're just fine.
But you're also forcing that mon to be scarf. You're forcing prep to counter that.
I'm
one
already
thing, which I
running
think
a
you
base
can take
100 speed
advantage of.
scarfer every week because that's just a good guy. That's just a good guy to have.
I will say I like the top 3. I like Skarmory, and I like
Tink.
Aleki is fine as removal. I personally think Tinkaton is a waste of points.
You're
I
crazy.
think that mon
Crazy
like
word.
Okay. Should we move on? Gray, do you want to add
Okay.
anything?
Tinkaton is not a waste of points. That is
That's my guy.
Okay.
I don't think it's as good as what people say it is.
It's only 10 points.
I'm trying to hit things with it.
It's
Just
guaranteed
just blink
value.
Rock, Thunder
each
Wave,
week.
just blink Encore.
Yeah. It's got knockoffs,
Alright.
it's got rocks, it's got
Gigaton Hammer
D-Waves.
does enough.
Let's move on, shall we?
Yeah. Or I strangle
Ted-
him.
A D-Bones team.
This team is super shiced, and then it's super not.
Certified
I-
Fusion Bolt
Yeah,
Classic.
I
But
get
it's-
that.
The top 6 actually look really good. I really like the top 6. Low kicks is
I don't-
like
I think the top
on the
4.
edge of that. Like,
I don't like
and
Noivern.
listen, I'm a hard supporter of Noivern. Noivern is
This guy hates
huge
Dragon
fan.
Ball and loves Noivern.
Dude.
This guy's out of his mind. Yeah. I understand it. But I think that my big issue again is the speed tiers, because you don't have a guy for 110s. Noivern is
No, you
fake
don't.
speed. You have to run specs on it if you want Noivern to be speed, and then you lose any form of removal, and Noivern's taken 25 every time it comes.
Yeah.
I
do
think we're
think-
somewhat underselling the defensive utility of Noivern, though.
Okay, no, it has
Yeah,
defensive
man.
utility, but it can't use that on this team. Not least of all because you have guard jump, which I think is very similar. Obviously, there's differences with like ground and fighting resists and whatever, but I'm just not a fan of Noivern on this team.
I think it's
Uh,
just kind of better and does similar things defensively, and it
Yeah.
has like less bad weaknesses. Like it's not weak to rock.
Yeah.
So I think what a lot of the lower division players do is when they look for top speed, the only thing that they take into consideration is the speed tier. They don't really look at the offensive stats, which I think is a huge problem, because that kind of creates the problem of your top speed not doing what you want it to do.
Yeah.
That being said, with this team, I do not like Noivern at all. However, I do think the top 4 on this team is amazing. I just think we just lost a sense of team crafting with
The top
this
4
after
is
that.
incredible. You never get rid of any of those Pokemon.
Mhm.
I think that you get rid of Noivern. You can keep low kicks even because like, oh, I prepped for Scarf Ape or Scarf and Amorous, or like I have a Scarfer for Garchomp, and then you just get hit in the face by low kicks. That could be a good anti-offense tool. So that's kind of your only speed control right now is low kicks. Muck is like fine.
Fix is very annoying to prep for, so
It is.
I like it on here.
Yeah.
I think the low kicks and the muck can stay, but the Noivern and then the last 3 can probably be arranged somehow.
They could be
just to fit this team a bit better.
Yeah, I agree. They could be better. You get something like just above 110, hopefully. Pray to God. And you get a little bit of bulk in the backbone. Regirock without Terra, I really hate. I think with Terra, it's actually super good, but without Terra, I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I will say, and I think this is a huge issue in not having anything around that 110-ish, is like if you're prepping for a +1 Chomp, you're most likely also prepping for that Scarf and Amorous, just because the speed tiers are so similar. So I think this team does need something to outspeed. So I think this team does need something between like 115 to 110 to kind of slap a Scarf on or something.
Yeah, I do think that's very good. The one thing about the lowers that I do kind of like is like Rotom-Mow. It does give you something to punish bulky waters at this point, because that's not something you have. So that, like, if there's one thing out of the lowers that like I could see staying for one reason or another, it would be the Rotom-Mow. Just because that, like, it's not a great speed tier, but it provides a decent typing for offense, and decent, somewhat decent defensive profile, I guess, but you don't really need to worry about that. But yeah, Regirock, Arcanine, and after looking at it a little closer, Noivern does probably need to go for more speed and just something that is better typing wise defensively, because like I can kind of see why Arcanine's here for like Intimidate and stuff for physical attackers, but I just don't think it works here. Yeah. And then Regirock is just without Terra. It's a rock type that loses to specially attacking water and grass types, which are almost all of them. So
Shall we move on? There we go. Right, so this is Erden, Dark Steel's type, team. And I think the top 5 on this is pretty solid. Probably even the top 6. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I would. Yeah. I think this team is very solid. I do think another uh, a ground resist or immunity could be kind of nice on this because for the weeks that of for the weeks that of Vikavolt's not showing up, that's probably only Hydreigon that's switching in on those, which is kind of tough.
Yeah, it looks really
Yeah,
bad.
it is very bad.
This team kind of just folds to Prim.
Especially, yeah. Well, it
I
kicks Moonblast on Hydreigon. Oh, water types.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I do
I really like
like
Fez.
yeah, the Fez
I just
Fez's
don't think it
utility.
needs to be on this team.
I mean, with the lack of fairies that are probably around for the typing, I think it almost has to stay. And it does provide, you know, some good special defense, which I think your team is lacking right now. And so I think it's really good for that. The top 6, honestly, I do really like. Maybe, you know, I think Hydreigon, as much as I like what it does for the team, I think it might have to go. Honestly, I think the last 3 could go and provide something of a ground resist that's like better and bringable like every week, like, because Hydreigon unfortunately overlaps with some other things.
I
Corner Pond loves Trailblaze. Yeah, I don't think it really does anything for you. A little bit better into water types. Honestly, like some sort of grass type, honestly, that isn't weak to ground. Like if Corner Pond had a better like, you know, defensive, like some defensive stats, then that would be ideal for your team.
I've been muted for
but
what I just said. No.
No, you weren't.
No, I was
No, we
muted
heard you.
on the recording.
Oh, no.
But I was just saying, for those who just sat through silence, I was just saying that Vikavolt I really love, but I don't think webs are important for this team because things love speed boosting on this team anyway. And your bottom 3 can go because they don't really do anything, and that's why Aiden chimed in. With my mouthpiece, I love him. Carry on.
Yeah, I think I agree with what you guys are saying. The point I was going to make is I think Hydreigon's nice to pressure psychic types, but then I realized psychic types are never offensively
Threatening, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's a kind of a moot point.
Yeah.
And even then, like for any psychic types, I feel like Ensign does that better.
Ensign and Crown do that way better anyway,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, both of those do that really well. So I don't think Hydreigon serves any real purpose. Like what it does, it kind of overlaps with Incineroar on the defensive side, and then on the offensive side,
okay.
I think it just gets outclassed by what's on the team already.
Tell me I'm crazy, but I think you could, if there is a usable fairy, you could get rid of
There's a
Bez,
few.
Hydreigon, Vikavolt, Oranguru. You get Milotic, specially bulky. It has flip turn, so it's another pivot. You can get something in. It's a water type that shores up your defenses really well. You get something immune to ground, and then
Maybe not
something
immune,
else.
but at least resistant.
You need an immunity. You need a ground immunity.
there is a fairy type that is immune to ground. That's on the
Is it a
board.
Namartharian?
Yeah.
It is, but there's Hatterene available. There's Carnivore available.
Hat could be good.
kinda-
Hat
Well,
could
there
be
are
good.
I kinda
options
like
for fairy
Hatterene.
types on this.
Hat could be
I
super
kind of
good
like
here.
Hatterene on this.
Yeah, man.
It's hazard denial as well, which is always nice. It's a fairy type. It can do some trick room shenanigans, which are always cool.
I don't think it works on a team like this though. Trick room, anyways. I guess if you want to.
Yeah,
do
Trick
like a
Room
standalone
doesn't,
thing-
but Hat in general I think does,
Mhm.
because it can
I agree.
nuzzle. I think actually paralysis support is super good on this team. It frees up. As much as I was talking about webs not being great, I think Specs Iron Crown really fucking good. So
Yeah.
actually having nuzzle support could be really nice. I think you may need a normal type then, just in case, because just having Insyn as your ghost check could be a bit annoying. With
Yeah.
3 ghost weaknesses, but that's certainly a consideration. Milotic could be quite good if it's free on this team. Because
Shall
like
we move on?
Milotic Pecharunt, that
Oh.
sounds really annoying. Yeah.
Shall we move on? Alright.
Yep.
Moving on to Jolte's team. Which I think is an overall solid
This is just a
bundle of
good
mods
team.
here. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
the one
Bishop
thing I
maybe a
will
little bit out
say-
of place, right?
As I think this team is way too light on the hazards.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I don't think any of these guys really want to click hazards.
No, you're kind of forced into. Well, I mean, I guess Arc can, but I feel like the majority of the time
Because it's
Landorus
Terra, I
versus
really
them.
hate using hazards on Arc. Landorus, you can run Stealth Rock on if you need to, but I would rather you not need to. I think
I
Bishop
think you
can,
kind of have to.
Bishop can go for another Rock setter or like a Spike
Mhm.
setter, and you're pretty good to go, man. Like Webs,
Actually-
Lando, Webs, Arcanine, super scary. Urshifu,
Why
even...
is Pisharp on this team?
Yeah, I actually don't know why Bishop's on this
It's a
team.
dark type. I know you have Darkrai.
They
I
have-
know you have Darkrai, but it's a defensive dark type.
Yeah. Doesn't have a
And
fairy
it's
this
also
team.
your own. I was about to say only steel, but then I realized there's a golden go there. So I'm
Let's
gonna
go,
shut
go.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't have a fairy type this team, so if you were able to get a fairy type, that'd be cool, but it's hard in this economy to get a fairy type. If Fez gets freed up though, keep an eye on it, because then you can get rid of Okidogi, which you don't super need, and get rid
Yeah.
of Bishop. But I think just generally this team's super scary. You got great breakers.
Mhm.
Darkrai's a super good cleaner. Arcanine even is a good cleaner.
That top like 4 is super scary, and I think the top 3 kind of complement each other.
Pretty
The
well,
top
right?
3 complement each other very well.
Yeah, I think even to be honest, the top 7, I'm a big fan of. I'm a big fan of the top 7.
Yeah.
I think
I
the
agree.
last 2 are a little bit tough though. The last 2 are my big gripes with this team, and I don't really know why they're there.
I mean,
Obviously, I know why Okidogi's there. You want a poison
Mm-hmm.
type. You want maybe some physical defense or something, but
I think it's
yeah.
fine. It's just it can be optimized more.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the thing about this team in particular, is this team is super good, has some really great stuff, but it can just be optimized a little bit better, and that'll be like scary ass team, man.
Mm. All right. Does anybody else want to comment on this team?
I think y'all pretty much hit it nail on the head.
Yeah. So the thing
All
about
right.
these nice teams, sometimes they speak for themselves.
Yeah. On to Meow Taria's team.
This looks like very, very traditional Paldex
Yeah.
balance.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This.
But I
this-
really love Mandibuzz and Slow King is like a 1-2 defensive pivot punch. Like I think that's going to be incredibly good with a Terra Bolt and a Sneeze. Like you don't even have to really focus on the terrain action on this team, but I think terrain is genuinely good on this team regardless.
Yeah.
There's a lot to like, yeah.
There is a lot to like. I think that is super good, super scary. I got Terra Raging Bolt myself. I got Sneasler. It's a classic combo. I think Terra Diancie. I love Terra Diancie. If you know me,
Yeah.
you know I love Terra Diancie. I'm always saying, Blue Fusion, you should get Terra Diancie. But I think that
MCA Season
it does
2.
the same thing as Raging Bolt here.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It does a very similar thing to Bolt. And I would much rather see something else out of Terra. You could even Terra like Rillaboom or Ceruledge.
I think.
Well, Sarah Ledge would require some reworking of the roster and points because I'm pretty sure that's a really big jump.
It's like
Yeah,
5 points,
6
but
points.
So is
yeah.
Terra Diancie, though. Last I checked, that was a pretty big.
It's like a
it's like
4-point jump.
Yeah, it's like 3 or 4, I think.
Yeah, it's not as much as
but
Sarah.
I like generally don't love Diancie on this team super much, but I think it's good as just a hazard bot on this team without Terra. And
I do think it is unfortunately forced into that role here. However, I do love a very good Trick Room Power Herb set on Terra Diancie.
that's classic all-timer set with Terra. I love that shit, but I don't think you're really running it with Bolt in the back. So like, I would even be a
Maybe
fan of Terra Rillaboom on this team. I said that because I think that the Terra Grass Grassy Glide can be really annoying to deal with, man.
Or, you know, you just click the bonk button
Yeah.
and
You just
you
kill
tell
someone.
your opponent to take 50% on their resist.
Yeah.
And then that's 50% on their resist that you if you outspeed, you click it again. And then it dies. And then they're down a Pokemon. Like that thing is so incredibly strong in terrain with Terra. Just even grass Terra. It's so insane. Like the damage is
The
crazy.
damage is pretty nuts, so I think that's where I would be at. I don't think Charge Bug really is doing anything. I know it's webs, but
I think it's webs for a team that is like, you know, generically slow, but
that has great priority and great speed control in general. I think that you can move the Terra onto Rillaboom, use Diancie as like a hazard bot maybe, and then you get rid of Charge Bug, and with the spare points, I don't know, you like.
I also think that potentially, like, I know Sarah Ledge is good, but I think potentially it could become something slightly more useful for the team.
A better Ghost maybe.
Yeah, something like maybe a better Ghost, or maybe like you already have a good Fairy Switch in and Iron Treads. And most fairies are specially defensive or especially offensive, so you can go into, you know, Slow King, who's, you know, a good Spadef Pokemon. Like, I think there are better uses for the points there. I don't mind it here, but I think it could be better.
I think it could be better. I agree.
One thing I do want to comment on, because I know we are talking about taking the Terra off of Diancie, which I don't think is a bad option. I just think non-Terra Diancie as a fairy sucks so much.
Yeah, it's not great as a fairy.
So maybe look into like a secondary fairy or something like that. But
yeah,
I do think putting the Terra on Rillaboom could be kind of cool. However, I am fine also keeping the Terra.
Yeah, I mean, this, look, to be
Diancie
clear,
as well.
obviously this team is a good team, no doubt about
Mhm.
it. But I think that it could like,
Yeah. I mean, this is just a certified Terravolt team. Uh, It's a combination of these top 4 mons we've seen.
yeah,
I feel like we've seen those across the 3 seasons that we've ran. Super common combination there, and
yeah,
it's super feasible.
yeah. No, it's a good team. I like it. I like it a lot. Shall we move on?
Shall we move on? Yeah.
Tight.
Right. So this is
Razzle
Dazzle's team.
This is a
The one
tight
thing
team.
that stuck out to me kind of right away is I don't see a purpose for Mimikyu on this team.
Yeah, so
I don't know why it's here.
the PBO delegation may have had a little bit of a brainstorm. The think tank may have gotten together slightly. And hear me out, Blue Fusion 321. You are the surrogate Lil Rock Diancies in this scenario. Imagine, roleplay, get into it. We take off, what was it? Chinchino and Zoroark or something like that.
Oh, we did have a little powwow about this, yeah.
And we put on Terragarg. I think Terragarg cooks with this team. It's another Ghost Resist, which is really nice, and it's just kind of I think it adds a lot defensively to this team because it's just generic fat, and it forces a lot of prep, which, especially with knock support from Meow, the best set of knockers in the game right now, that could go really hard.
Ikey, Terra Water, Specs, Hydro Pump Keldeo, all 8 weeks.
I mean,
The goat has
yeah,
spoken.
but like that 1 week where there's a water absorb mon, I think you're gonna have to change the prep. You know, I really like this team. The one thing we did also talk about is the whole Mamoswine, Geezing, and Rotom Heat is just your traditional like I need types
Yeah.
sort
Yeah.
of thing. But luckily those are 3 mons that can get away with a hey, I need this type, so I'm drafting this Pokemon. The one like few things, yeah, probably Terra Chinchino can be something different, like Terra Garg if you drop the Mimikyu. Oroark, I think it could be something different. Maybe better Ghost, maybe better Normal, or something that kind of fills the same role as Oroark.
Yeah.
I just
I
don't
don't-
know.
I don't think that it
exactly
serves a
what it's supposed to be.
Big purpose on this team.
There is one thing I would like to comment on just from past personal experience, because I have had Terra Keldeo and Meow kind of in the past. I think one thing that my team is missing was, and I think it's kind of necessary for this team to function, is a more solid electric type. It just kind of helps out, kind of like you said about those
For the
few.
the waters we thinking.
Yeah, just because obviously Meow can hit them offensively, but you don't want to be switching Tapmon into like tons of attacks and everything.
Yeah.
Especially if there's hazards up or something like that. There are electric types on the board that do kind of fit that role. So it's just food for thought based off of my
Potentially.
personal experiences.
I think my thoughts as well on this team is that I don't think that Chinchino is like ever really.
Yeah,
coming into
I
our-
don't know why that's there.
It's like whatever. But this team, very cool. I like Dragonite a lot on this team. Super good. You can literally lead that Pokemon, get 2 kills, call it a day. Got mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of this team.
So am I. Shall we move on And at
Yeah.
the top, 2 teams.
It's the big dog. And for me, this team, best team in the div. I super like this team.
Cobain's team is very good, especially that top 3, which and to me look very super familiar for some reason.
this is looking pretty similar to yours, eh, big guy?
Hmm.
I super like
I
the
wonder.
top 4. Swampert, I think, is a great addition for them. Swampert and Zapdos are just going to be bonking themselves off of rocky helmets all day pivoting, and that's okay. I think that Cyclizar is pretty decent. It's a good spinner here. I know that he wanted it because he wanted something faster than Iron Val. Again, like
Which
we
makes
discussed
sense.
before, Cyclizar, in a similar vein to Noivern, not really amazing speed control, but it can do it.
Well,
It has Draco, and it
defend-
has Double Edge.
to defend Cyclizar a little bit, it has Regenerator, so I think as an item slot, it can kind of run Life Orb, which kind of helps it out in
that role.
yeah.
If you super need it to, which I think obviously it's way better as just like, you know, like an AV mon or something like that. Pivot, spin, knock off. It's got great util moves. I think it's a super good mon.
Another thing I like about this team is Overquill. I think it serves as a very nice spiker on this team, and obviously it is that grounded poison on this team.
Yeah.
Super solid pick overall.
The one thing, if I had anything bad to say about this team, and it's not even bad, is like I know why Volcarona's here,
Yeah.
but it's the one thing that when first glance looking at this team that I'm like, I don't really know why this is.
I don't
here.
get it.
Like I know,
Yeah, so,
but I don't get it.
so he had another plan originally, but
Because you're on a fire type.
yeah, you want a fire type, and I think that the thing about Volcarona, which I think can work on this team, is that, man, sometimes you click Quiver Dance and you just kind of win the game. you know what I mean?
that is
Walk into a win.
Yeah.
I
And
don't
I think
think
he's gone.
I don't think Frostless really does anything on this team.
Oh, you think? I love Frostlass. The last two were his because I accidentally. Yeah, I think.
I mean, I
It's
don't
a
think
speed
it's not needed though.
It's not needed, but I think it can work as a Scarfer. It can work as a lead. Look, obviously, Frost is 4 points for a reason, right? It's not like I'm saying it's the GOAT or anything, but it's a Ghost type with spikes and Destiny Bond, and there are certain teams in this.
Status too.
It has double status, and there are certain teams in this division that are super ice weak. You can run Ice Beam. You can run Specs, Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, and it'll just like tear through.
Physical stab
Couple of
too
things.
with Poltergeist and Triple Axle.
Yeah,
So you can run either one. It gets
got
taunt, it gets wisp. I
really
really
buffed
like
this
this
gen.
one.
it is 4 points for a reason, but I think it
No
has
ice
value.
shard, unfortunately, but you know, we make do.
Yeah.
Or
Does
it's
it not have Ice
Shadow
Shard?
Sneak. If it's
No.
one or the other, it's either no Shadow Sneak or no Ice Shard.
I think it has Sneak, but not Shard.
Okay, I was gonna.
Is I believe the way around. Fact check, but you know.
I'm checking right now actually.
Um,
I'm pretty sure it doesn't get Shadows. No. It gets Shard. It does not get Shadow Sneak.
okay.
Well, Shard's the one you want out of those two.
Yeah, probably.
I'd agree. Has anything? Does anyone have anything? Have any
No.
final thoughts on this team?
Not really. I just think this is a fire team. I think it's going to do really well.
Good.
I agree. All right. On to the team that we ranked collectively number one
Collectively.
overall is of Hoyts' team, and I think uh, a very big kind of reason for that is they have 2 round 1 picks.
Tarap, I don't think is a round 1 pick. I think
It is absolutely a round 1 pick.
Zarud Terrapagos is something you commonly see together.
An 8-mon.
Even in bigger
This is,
divisions,
I mean,
this happens.
This team is essentially an 8-mon team. I mean, it has 9 mons, like Five Eyes, like.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's rated the highest, not even necessarily because it is like the most particularly well constructed team. It's just so like, how do you prep like genuinely for Terra Zarud with screens? Oh, and there's a Terrapagos in the black. Oh, and they have amazing hazards.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah.
It's pretty scary. I rate this team lower than you guys because I really super wish it had one fast Pokemon in this team. I wish it had something that you could put your hands up and say, okay,
Yeah.
maybe my bulky setup sweepers didn't finish the job, but don't worry because I've got this joint in the back. I got Inteleon in the back it's got a Specs and a Scald and a Dream, baby. It's gonna do the
Inteleon would
job.
actually be pretty psyched on here.
I think Inteleon, if I pulled it off the
You know I
dome, I
love
don't know if it's
Inteleon.
free. Specs Inteleon can probably just like clean up some games. Obviously Infernape has like, you know, it can run Scarf and it has priority and whatever, but I think that just having something
I
that-
do have a little. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
go on.
I do have a little inside info with Voids right now. He's thinking about the same things with this team, so
Okay.
I think there's a chance that that speed problem gets a little fixed up. He's got some decent ideas going on.
Nice. Good. That's good to hear. Yeah, it is a good team. It is a super scary team to prep for. If you had something fast, I would love it. Currently, it's just like just kind of scary.
I think I agree. One thing that I liked in particular with this team is that it does kind of fit that playstyle of setup offense with Terrazarud and Terrapagos, but it also has a very solid amount of immediate offense in Terra Thunder T and Infernape, and even like something like Specs Prim for matchups.
Yeah.
Where that
Specs
set
Prim's
looks
good. Yeah.
looks really nice. I do wish the ghost type on this was a bit better. I don't think Dusclops is bad, but I think with the hazards this team has, I think another spin blocker could be kind of a nice addition.
Dusk Noir, perhaps?
Perhaps.
No, stop.
Yeah, but this is a super good team. It's a super scary team to prep for.
Voids, I'm talking directly to you right now, man. Go to the playoffs, win this division. Your team is good. You can do it.
That's heartwarming.
All right.
That's beautiful,
Well,
man. What a better way to end it. What a better
I
way
think
to
on
end
that
it.
note, yeah, this kind of concludes the MCA Season 4 Fusion Bolt PRs. And yeah, that's that.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.